So hi everyone, welcome to my latest video again. This is going to be the second one in the series that I'm starting on motorcycle basics, and either basics for new riders, for existing riders, maybe to hone their skills. I think this one is tailored more at people who are brand new or very new to motorcycling or thinking about getting into motorcycling, and it comes off the back of the last video in this series I did, which you should definitely watch. Around mastering slow control on motorcycles. So something I talked about, the phrase that I used in that video was positive steering input, and that got me thinking. I probably didn't give enough context to that, so I'm going to do a video today on a couple of steering techniques on a motorcycle, how to steer a motorcycle. Now, you can go really far into this rabbit hole, and there are some really advanced techniques when we start talking about body position, leaning off the bike, things like that when you're out in the twisties. But I just wanted to give a really not basic, but just ground level um, introduction to two kinds of steering techniques. One of them being positive input on the steering, and the other one being counter steering of a motorbike. So let's explain what those two things mean first. I'll try and explain how the physics of the motorcycle works, how the mechanics of the motorcycle work, and then we'll just do some practical examples. I'll do some positive input steering on this quite dead car park on a sunny Sunday afternoon, and I'll do some counter steering stuff here as well at slightly lower speeds, and then we'll take the bike out onto the public roads and just do a little bit of counter steering there as well. There may be some positive input steering if we're going at a low enough speed. So let's explain what those two things are first. How do they work? So let's just put my gloves somewhere for the moment. What is positive input steering? Positive input steering is where we turn my steering lock off, is where we turn the motorcycle handlebars in the direction that we want to go. Let's just put the kickstand up. So we're positively telling the bike where to go. It's a positive input. So if I want to go right using positive steering, I turn the handlebars right. And if I want to go left, that's what I do. Positive input to the left. Now, that works at slower speeds and during slow control maneuvers. I would say anything under 7 miles an hour, you're going to be wanting to positively steer the bike. Now, all of this comes in conjunction with how you, the rider, are using your body language and your body position to input to what's going on the bike. So it comes in conjunction with a lot of other things. Both of these techniques come in conjunction with a lot of other things. So let's just take positive steering as an example first. Now, I talked about this in my last video in the context of slow control, but you want to be doing this in every steering situation. You want to be looking where you're going, give yourself a horizon line, and look to the exit of a corner or where you want to be going, and that should angle your body slightly as well, and then the bike should come up to meet you. So you can't just sit straight up on a bike and turn the handlebars. It's not going to work. You're gonna come off your bike doing it like that. You want to use the techniques that I'm about to talk about in conjunction with having the correct line of sight, looking in the direction you want to go, not focusing on hazards, and we'll talk about all this in a later video. I'm giving myself some good ideas here about other videos I can do in this series, and yeah, visuals is definitely one of them. But you want to be looking where you're going, you want to be giving the right body inputs to the bike as well. But positive steering inputs, as I've just said, is you positively turn the bike where you want it to go. So what's the second technique that we're going to be talking about? The second technique is the opposite of that. So if you think positive, what's the opposite? Negative. You want to be doing the exact opposite. It is counter to what you have been doing using positive steering input. That's why we call it counter steering. You're actually going to be giving input to the handlebars in the opposite direction to the direction that you want the bike to go. So just stand her up again, take the kickstand off. If I'm doing some decent speeds, I'd say, I've got my gloves, anything over 10, 15 miles an hour, I still want to be using all of the techniques that I know, so looking where I want to go, using my body language, using my weight on the bike. But to initiate a lean on a motorcycle at higher speeds, you want to be counter steering. So if I want to go right, I'm going to push the handlebar on the right hand side. And if I want to go left, I'm going to push the handlebar on the left hand side. Now, how and why does that work? So motorcycle tyres are radial, a small surface area, and it gets slightly larger surface area as it goes round the sides. Motorcycle is in movement, it's going forwards. So what we're doing when we're counter steering is we are presenting the larger surface area on, let's do to the right at the moment. So push right, handlebars turn left, but I'm presenting that larger surface area, and then the bike wants to lean over to the right. So I'm initiating the lean, not with my body language, throwing the bike over. I'm initiating the lean by, if I'm going right, pushing right on the right handlebars, pushing right on the handlebars, which makes the steering turn left, presenting in the direction of movement the larger surface area of the side of the tyre, and then the bike will lean onto that large surface area. I'll then go into a right hand lean, and I can use all the techniques that I know to go around that corner. The same for the left as well. So if I'm looking to go left, I'll push on the left handlebar, the steering will turn to the right, the larger piece of surface area on the tyre will be presented in the direction of travel, and the bike will initiate a lean over to the left hand side. Okay, so put the kickstand down again. Let's get off and go and retrieve my gloves, which I have lost. Oh, I say this on every video. It is warm today. It's coming to the end of summer, but we're actually getting a summer now, which is good. It's always good for riding a bike. So let's go do some practical examples just while I'm gearing up here. We'll recap those. Positive steering input is you're turning. Oh, you're turning the handlebars in the direction that you want to go. You're positively telling the bike where you want to go at lower speeds, and at higher speeds, if you want to go right, for example, you're doing the opposite, and you're pushing on the right handlebar to initiate a lean to the right. So let's get the bike started up. We'll do some positive steering input first, so slow control maneuvers, and then I'll go right up there, and we'll take a bit of a run up, get some speed, and I haven't got any cones with me at the moment, but we'll do an exercise that's on the Mod 1 test, which is hazard avoidance. So something that's on the UK Mod 1 motorcycle test, which is slow speed control and maneuvers, is I think you have to go 32, 34 miles an hour, something like that. Coming out of a bend, 32, 34 miles an hour, and then you have to swerve round an object. So you go from one lane of cones into another lane of cones, back to the lane of cones that you were in initially, and then have a controlled stop. Different instructors will teach you different ways to do this. Somebody I've talked to got told to swing their hips. I mean, that's one way to do it. Counter steering is going to give you a lot more control. I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. So let's get the bike started up. Kickstand's not down. That's always good. Okay, so let's move off. Now, I did U-turns on my last video, so let's do another U-turn here. So I'm on the back brake, covering the clutch. We won't talk about all of that. Watch my other video if you want to learn all of that. But see how the handlebars are now going round to the right, and I'm going to the right. Again, if you want slow speed control techniques, watch my other video in this series. I'll teach you how to do this. But for positive input, I'm going right. I'm positively turning the steering right, and the bike is going right. And I'm doing 8 miles an hour at the moment. Let's do that one more time. Positively turn to the right, and the bike's going to go to the right. We'll take it up here, and we'll do a little bit of a slalom. That's also on the Mod 1 test. So, as I said, I'm going to be doing a video on the Mod 1 test at some point. So, I'm going to do a bit of a slalom here, and you can see how I'm positively steering in the direction that I want the bike to go. Going right, there's nothing coming, going left. Okay, let's turn it off around here. Okay, let's go again. So positively turning left, positively turning right. Still using my body weight, still looking exactly where I want to go. Okay, and now let's do a U-turn. Okay. Put her into neutral, turn the bike off. So as I've said, that was all under slow control conditions. You will want to watch my video before this to learn how to operate a motorcycle under slow control conditions. There's a set of techniques that we use. I'm not going to go over all of that now. Please watch my other video. So that's positive input steering. Under 10 miles an hour when you're doing maneuvers like that. Real world scenarios as well, when you're on car parks going around those really tight little roundabouts, you're going to need to be familiar with that steering technique and the slow control techniques that go behind it. So now let's look at counter steering. I'm gonna go up there, right up to the top. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to build up a little bit of speed. Come back down here, right in the middle, as if I was in that first lane of cones. I'm going to build up a little bit of speed, and then I'm going to counter steer to swing the bike. I haven't decided which way I'm going to go yet. I'll decide that when I come back, either right or left. I'm going to counter steer to swing the bike one way and then swing the bike back. Okay? So, pouring it. Let's go all the way up here and we'll turn round. Nothing coming. That's good. So again, we'll do some positive input steering here. Okay, let's build a bit of speed up and then we'll go and do a counter steer hazard avoidance. Okay, we'll turn it round. So what I did then, I went right, I pushed on the right hand handlebar and that swung me to the right, and then I pushed on the left hand handlebar to bring me back to where I was before. So let's do that one more time. Again, positive input steering to get me around this U-turn. We'll build up a little bit of speed, and I'm going to push right on the right handlebar and push left. Okay. And let's stop in the middle. Put it into neutral. Turn the bike off. Put the kickstand down as well. Okay. So that's how counter steering works. You can see then that I was up to, I don't know, 15, 20 miles an hour in a straight line. I wanted to swerve to the right hand side around the object or the hypothetical hazard that was in this empty car park. To do that at those speeds, I pushed slightly on the right handlebar, initiated a lean to the right, then I went neutral. Once I was round it, pushed on the left handlebar, and that swung me back into position again. So what I'm doing there is I'm presenting that larger surface area to lean the bike. Now, you may not be counter steering at the moment, or you may not think you're counter steering at the moment, but you are. That's how it works on a motorcycle. You can't use positive input at higher speeds to turn the bike. So even if you're leaning and using body position, you're going to be on this a little bit harder than you're on this. So the steering profile is still going to be the same. Now this works in the twisties and in the corners as well. Again, some of that is a lot more advanced. I will get to advanced techniques at some point, but it's always good to start with the basics. So yeah, that will work in almost all normal conditions. You're going around a roundabout, again, using all the skills that you have, looking where you want to go, using your body position, weighting yourself correctly on the bike, having the correct speed. But to initiate the lean and the turn, you would push on the right handlebar. Now, how hard should I push is a question I can't answer for you. Some people will tell you to give it one big push. Some people will tell you constant pressure. Find out for yourself. Go and find an empty car park like this. Go in a straight line and just see what happens if you just push slightly on each of the handlebars. If you really push it, you're gonna come off your bike. So take it easy to start with. Feel how the bike works and operates and reacts to those inputs that you're giving it. Okay, so I'm actually going to take the bike out on the public roads. There is a bike meet going on today. It started 6 minutes ago, so I'm going to head towards that, and I'll talk you through some of the stuff that I'm doing. I don't know how far away it is. It's about 15 minutes away. I won't subject you to all of that, but I'll cut out any of the journey that's not needed, and I'll talk you through my steering, and I'll get some footage of pulling into the bike meet as well. There should be quite a few bikes there. I'm going to go and have a cold drink, which I think I deserve. Right, let's just make sure everything is done up as it should be. Yes, nothing's going to fall out of my pockets. The keen eye of you may have seen this nice yellow stain on my t-shirt. I'm not in the habit of wearing dirty t-shirts, despite what some people might think. It was I don't know what it was. It was some kind of insect strike at about 60 miles an hour. And I had my jacket open a little bit like this, and it felt like getting hit by a paintball. So I'm going to have a nice mark there tomorrow. I think right in the middle of my chest. Oh well. Okay, counter steer. Now positive steer. That was a mixture of the two. So I initiated a lean, and then the handlebars came round as part of that turn. You don't want to fight it. Now, that's an advanced technique using counter steering at slower speeds, which you can do, and that's something I will cover at some point. Don't try that at the moment, though. If you're watching this video, you know you're going to be relatively new to riding the bike, so don't try that at the moment. That's something I'll cover later. Just think about counter steering at lower speeds and positive input at lower speeds and counter steering at higher speeds. Okay. I was quite busy today. So, once all this traffic, I might go a different way actually. Try and get past all this. No, I'm going to get that gap. Okay, we'll go down the bypass. Okay, when I go around this little corner here, I'm going to indicate. I'm going to counter steer a little bit. That was a tiny push. Didn't really need to push it hard at all. And the bike instigated a lean to the left. So I pushed in the direction that I wanted to go. The front wheel turned to the right slightly, but because of the larger surface area on the left-hand side of the tyre, the weight shifted to there. Speed up a little bit. This is where I got hit with that insect before. God, it hurt. Honestly felt like getting hit with a paintball. Oh, plastic bag, don't want that in the wheels. Okay, so we're doing 50 at the moment. I'm going to counter steer right and counter steer left and do a bit of a slalom. So right, counter steer left, counter steer right. Push on the left handlebar, push on the right handlebar, push on the left handlebar. And it initiates the lean. Okay. There's a lot of Sunday drivers out today. Some chap in an NX5 nearly took me out on a roundabout before. I felt the rage inside me. I wanted to go and chase him down, but I didn't. I was more mature about it than that time a cyclist flipped me off. I'm still not overly proud of myself for chasing down a cyclist and returning the bird to him. But I've kept the video up on YouTube. Why not? It's quite funny. Please don't pull out, Mr. Vanman. For you. Okay, push left. Go left. Now it's important to talk about with counter steering at least that you don't need to continuously push. The more you push, the more lead angle you're going to get. Counter steering is about initiating the lean. So I'm going to initiate the lean to one side or the other, and then I'm going to not bring the handlebars back to where they were, but I'm going to stay neutral. I'm not going to push more, because I'll do it to the right now. If I lean a little bit and then more, I go more. So the more I push, the greater that lean angle is going to be. I don't know what people must think I'm doing on the road. I'm going slowly, I'm accelerating, I'm swerving one way or another. Just have a sign on the back. Idiot YouTuber on bike, please keep distance. That would be good. There's a 72 plate black Volvo in front of me. Could well be the Roses. But I'm a responsible rider, So I have nothing to fear. Let's go. Okay, so I push right, I go right. This is going to be a really good demonstration. Indicating left, neutral, push left, initiate the lean, use my body weight. I'm still pushing a little bit left here. Using my body weight, leaning on the bike. And back up to neutral. Okay, so when I did that long sweeping bend, that tight bit and then the long sweeping bend to the left, pushed on the left handlebar to initiate the lean to the left, then used my body positioning and my weighting to keep the bike where I wanted it to go, looking where I want to go, and then eased off a little bit on that push, maybe even pushed a little bit right to bring it back up again around that long sweeping bend, and then just kept quite neutral. A little. Okay, so this car in front is going reasonably quick, so I'll match the speed. I'm going to push left a tiny bit, use my body weight, go around that corner. Okay, so let's do a very quick recap on all of that, and then I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to do a bit of riding. If anything interesting happens, I'll keep it in the video. If not, I'll speed it all up and we'll get to the point where I'm pulling into the bike meet, and let's see if there's a lot of people there. There's loads of bikes out. Hello, hello, yes. Okay, so let's wrap it all up. Two basic kinds of steering input you want to think about when you're on a bike. Positive steering, turning in the direction you want to go, used in slow speed control maneuvers or at speeds under 10 miles an hour. The opposite to that is counter steering. You're going to use that when you're riding the bike normally, like this. And in those situations, you will push the handlebar that is the direction you want to go. You want to go right, you push right to initiate a lean. You want to go left, you push left to initiate a lean. Okay? Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope it's been useful. I've got some lovely comments on some of my other videos. It's, you know, it really is appreciated. And, you know, if you could like and subscribe to the channel, helps me reach more people. I'm going to try and make some more videos now that the weather's clearing up a bit. So yeah, hope everyone's found this useful. Comment below if you want to know anything else. Ride safe out there. I'll see you soon. I'll see you when we meet when we get to this bike meet.